In the days long ago, there was a man named Jonah, a prophet of the Lord. God chose him to carry his message, just as he had chosen prophets before him. One day, the voice of the Lord came to Jonah, strong and clear. "Arise, Jonah. Go to the great city of Nineveh. Its wickedness has risen up before me. Preach against it so that the people may turn from their evil ways." Nineveh was not an ordinary city. It was vast, powerful, and filled with violence, pride, and sin. Jonah knew this. He also knew God's mercy, that if the people repented, God might forgive them. But Jonah did not want that. In his heart, he thought, why should these enemies of Israel receive God's mercy? Let them perish. So Jonah ran away from God's command. Instead of going east toward Nineveh, he went west, down to a seaport called Joppa. There, he found a ship bound for Tarshish, a place far, far away, in the opposite direction of Nineveh. He paid the fare and went aboard, thinking he could escape the presence of the Lord. But no one can flee from God. As the ship sailed across the waters, the Lord sent a mighty storm. The winds roared. The waves rose high, crashing against the vessel. The ship groaned and creaked, ready to break apart. The sailors, strong men of the sea, trembled with fear. Each man cried out to his own God for help. They threw cargo overboard to lighten the ship. But Jonah was asleep, deep in the lower deck, unaware. The captain shook him awake, shouting, "Get up. Call on your God. Perhaps he will take notice of us so we will not perish." Still, the storm raged. The sailors cast lots to discover who was the cause of this disaster, and the lot fell upon Jonah. They turned to him and demanded, "Tell us. Who are you? Where do you come from? What have you done to bring this upon us?" Jonah confessed, "I am a Hebrew. I worship the Lord, the God of heaven, who made the sea and the dry land. I am fleeing from him." The sailors were terrified. "What must we do to you so that the sea will grow calm for us?" Jonah said quietly, "Pick me up and throw me into the sea. Then the storm will stop. This is all because of me." The sailors did not want to take his life, so they rowed hard, trying to bring the ship back to land. But the sea grew even wilder. At last, they cried out to Jonah's God, "O Lord, do not let us perish for taking this man's life. Forgive us." Then they lifted Jonah and threw him into the sea. Immediately, the raging waters became calm. The storm stopped. The sailors stood in awe. They offered sacrifices to the Lord and made vows to him. But Jonah sank deep beneath the waves. Then the Lord prepared a great fish to swallow him. The enormous creature opened its mouth and drew Jonah into its belly. For 3 days and 3 nights, Jonah lived inside the dark, suffocating belly of the fish. The waters pressed around him. The seaweed wrapped around his head. He felt trapped, cut off from life, drowning in despair. From inside the fish, Jonah prayed. He cried out to God with all his heart. "In my distress, I called to the Lord, and he answered me. From the depths of the grave, I cried for help, and you listened to my cry. When I had lost all hope, you lifted my life from the pit." Salvation comes from the Lord alone. God heard Jonah's prayer. And the Lord commanded the fish, and it vomited Jonah onto dry land. Weakened but alive, Jonah lay upon the shore, covered in slime and the stench of the sea. But the voice of the Lord came to him a second time. "Arise, Jonah. Go to Nineveh, that great city, and proclaim the message I give you." This time, Jonah obeyed. He entered Nineveh, a city so large it took 3 days to walk across. As he went through its streets, Jonah cried out, 40 more days, and Nineveh will be overthrown." The word struck the people like thunder. From the poorest to the greatest, they believed God. They humbled themselves, put on sackcloth, and fasted. Even the king of Nineveh rose from his throne, removed his royal robe, and sat down in ashes. He sent out a decree. "Let everyone call urgently on God. Let us give up our evil ways and our violence. Who knows? God may yet relent and withhold his judgment." And God saw what they did, that they turned from their wickedness. He had compassion and did not destroy them. But Jonah was angry. Instead of rejoicing, he complained to God. "Didn't I say this would happen? I knew you are a gracious God, merciful and slow to anger, abounding in love. That is why I fled to Tarshish. Better for me to die than to live." Jonah left the city and sat on a hill, waiting to see what would happen. The Lord made a leafy plant grow over him, giving him shade and comfort. Jonah was glad for the plant. But the next morning, God sent a worm to chew the plant, and it withered. Then the sun blazed, and a hot wind blew. Jonah grew faint and wished to die. But God said, "Jonah, you are concerned about this plant, though you did not plant it or make it grow. Should I not be concerned for Nineveh, that great city, in which more than 120,000 people live, who cannot tell their right hand from their left, and also many animals?" And the story ends there, with Jonah silent, and God's mercy shining over Nineveh.